When Anna told Lucas, "You're too kind and too clingy, I don't want to be close anymore," something inside him broke quietly. They were sitting at their usual cafe, the one where they used to laugh for hours. But now her eyes were cold, and her smile was gone. She spoke as if his love had become a burden instead of comfort. Lucas didn't argue. He simply nodded, holding back the 1,000 questions burning inside him. He walked home in silence, his mind replaying her words like a broken record. 4 years, he had done everything to make her happy: late-night drives when she was upset, gifts for no reason, constant reassurance when she doubted herself. But somehow, that same devotion had become too much for her. That night, Lucas sat alone in the dark and whispered, "Maybe kindness isn't enough for some people." Over the next few days, he stopped trying. No more good morning texts, no more checking if she'd eaten. He gave her the space she wanted. But as silence grew between them, Anna didn't reach out either. That's when Lucas realized she wasn't missing him at all. A week later, he found out through a friend that Anna had been spending time with someone from her office. The news hit him like a storm. He didn't shout or confront her. He just sat in his car and stared ahead for a long time. When he finally looked in the mirror, he saw a man who had given everything, and received betrayal in return. That night, when Anna came home, he didn't ask questions. He simply said, "If you're happier with him, you don't need to pretend anymore." She looked startled, then defensive. "It's not like that," she said quickly, but her eyes told the truth. Lucas didn't argue. "It's fine," he said quietly. "I'm done begging for love that doesn't want to stay." The next morning, he packed a small bag and left to stay at his brother's place. He didn't leave a note or message. Anna tried calling after a few days, but he ignored it. When she finally showed up at his brother's door, she looked pale and tired. "We need to talk," she said. Lucas stood in the doorway and replied, "There's nothing left to talk about. You ended this when you stopped being honest." Weeks passed, and Lucas filed for divorce. The moment she received the papers, she called him, crying. "You're really doing this?" she asked. "Yes," he said calmly. "You told me I was too kind and too clingy. Maybe you were right. But I won't stay where I'm not wanted." The divorce process was painful but peaceful. Lucas didn't fight over money or belongings. He just wanted his freedom back, and his self-respect. Anna tried to delay things, sending long messages, apologizing, and even blaming herself. But Lucas didn't respond. He had learned that forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. One afternoon, they met at the lawyer's office to sign the final papers. Anna's hands trembled as she picked up the pen. "I never thought it would end like this," she said softly. Lucas looked at her with tired eyes. "Neither did I," he replied. "But sometimes love turns into something it shouldn't, and it's better to let it die with dignity." After signing, Lucas walked out without looking back. The air outside felt heavy but clean, as if he'd finally stepped out of a storm. For the first time in years, he didn't feel trapped by her moods, her silence, or her games. He was free. Months later, Lucas moved to a new apartment in another city. He started fresh, focusing on his art and work. People around him noticed how calm he'd become. There was still pain, yes, but there was also strength, the kind that only comes after losing everything and surviving it. One day, Anna sent him a final message, "I miss what we had. You were the best thing that ever happened to me." Lucas read it once, smiled faintly, and deleted it. Some endings didn't need replies. That evening, he stood on his balcony, watching the sunset. He whispered to himself, "She said I was too kind. Maybe that's true. But now I'm kind to the only person who never left me, myself." And with that thought, Lucas closed the door behind him, leaving his past where it belonged. The divorce was not just the end of a marriage, it was the start of a better life, one built on peace, truth, and the strength to walk away from those who couldn't value love.